Hello, victini video. Today we're gonna take a look at the buffed mud-slap variant of Claydol in the Psychic Cup. I definitely didn't say 3 times in a row Clodslayer before this recording, but anyway, we're going to take a look here at the Claydol with mud-slap, which already was a very strong Pokemon the last time this cup was around, and it is even stronger now, of course. And a lot of other people are definitely knowing about this Pokemon now as well. A lot of people are running this Pokemon already in this cup. And yeah, Claydol for sure top tier meta pick. This thing is a bulky, this thing generates energy fast. This Pokemon has a lot of good coverage moves, and here for this meta, Scorching Sands plus Shadow Ball gives you perfect coverage against meta, especially with Shadow Ball. That is only going to be with Psychic type Pokemon. And so, yeah, this Pokemon is insanely good. There are a lot of targets for it as well, and the team itself was insanely good. I got a 75% win rate with this team, which is really strong. And also look at the Shadow Gardevoir damage here. It is madness. That malamar from the opponent is going to go down here as the rapidash is coming back in there. They have 2 1 HP Pokemon. I can easily take a hit with that Claydol. As we can see here as well, this Pokemon is insanely bulky and we can win the first battle. So we're going to have our face up here for this team, the Malamar, which is definitely something that worked out quite well for me. A lot of times you kind of want to have actually a Hyper Beam on Malamar. I decided to go against that and go for Superpower for the main reason that I don't have Charge TMs. Like, generally speaking, Hyper Beam is the better move to go for on this Pokemon, but Superpower has one actual play, and this is going to be in the mirror matchup, where you're going to be able to outspeed the opponent for that move, which is maybe a bit important later on as well, but Hyper Beam, generally speaking, is going to be the better move on the Malamar. Here we're going to see already the Scorching Sands coming through against the opponent's Malamar, getting the attack drop. 30% chance here. Definitely was quite lucky for us to get it here, but generally speaking, I don't think I got like a crazy amount of them. Anyway, we're going to see a slowbro coming in, having access to now the new Brutal Swing, making this Pokemon quite brutal to deal with, as it's going to be very strong in the current meta, having so much coverage. Yeah, honestly, like, Brutal Swing is getting so fast reach by this Pokemon. I think it's definitely a Pokemon that I kind of want to take a look at as well here on the channel. But anyway, you're going to see the Brutal Swing coming through again from the Slowbro. Also, if you have some interesting battles to send in, always would appreciate some battle submissions here as well for the Master League as well as for the Psychic Cup. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have the Rapidash in the lead. This is going to be a very interesting matchup because I think it's kind of IV dependent actually. A lot of Rapidash go down to 3 charms. This one is apparently going to be able to survive that, but they still swap out into the Meowstic, which is a very good Pokemon. Honestly, very strong Pokemon to have for this meta. Could build as well, have a good one that I can build. But here we're going to see the shield coming up from us. I know that they have Energy Ball, and I think they have some other good coverage move as well on this Pokemon. But the buffed Sucker Punch on this thing definitely going to help it out quite a bit with a lot of matchups. Here we're going to see the foul play coming through against the Rapidash, very likely going to force a shield from the opponent. And so now they're forced to go for their own charge move. If it's a body slam, we will be able to still survive it, and we can swap out of here as well into our Gardevoir, getting out the Bruxish in the back, and that's going to be a bit of a tough one. We're forced to go back into our Claydol actually, and hope that we can somehow outspeed them. We do quite a lot of damage here, as our bulk is a bit better than what the opponent's bulk is at, and this is also kind of showcasing again. The opponent has a super effective fast move, we don't, and the opponent is taking more damage than we do. It's just how important bulk is in the Go Battle League is quite madness. But we're going to be able to go for the full farm down, go for a charge move, win the battle, win the game, and move on to the next opponent. Well, let's see what they're going to have. We're going to have the Gardevoir against the Rapidash again in the lead. And let's take a look here on how much 3 charms going to do. Still not enough to two-shot them basically, in terms of trying to get enough fast moves in to knock them out before they can go for another charge move later on. And so, as we are not going to be able to knock them out with 3 charms, or like total of 6 charms there, we are kind of in a very tough spot with that one. So it's very IV dependent. If the opponent has a bad IV, the Rapidash, you're going to be able to knock them out without them getting to another charge move. If the opponent has a good IV Rapidash, this might be a bit more tricky. Anyway, we're going to see the mirror matchup of Malamar against Malamar. We have to take the Hyper Beam here. There is no way I'm going to use a shield with only one shield remaining, and we can at least go for the double superpower against the opponent if this is needed, which it is not, and so it is down now to the final Pokemon. We're gonna see the Victini coming in. We can go for the charge move, we can swap out straight away into the Claydol to try to punish this fire type Pokemon. And again, actually for the Claydol, the best Pokemon to encounter is the Victini, as well as the Bronzong, as you're gonna do still super effective damage with your fast move, and that is quite nice. Anyway, we're gonna see the victory rate coming through. Can we go for the full farm mode in time? We can, and we can move on to the next opponent. We're going to have a Victini in Elite here. That is going to be an interesting one as they swap out straight away, and we're going to get out the opponent's Gardevoir. That is going to be a Pokemon that I don't want to face at all. Like, generally speaking, we got completely hard-walled so far, but at least we're going to get the shield here, and the shield might actually help us out a bit more than expected. We can go into our own Gardevoir, trying to fully farm them down, and see where the game is going to get me, as I'm going to let the move go through here, I think. Exactly, and hope that my Claydol is enough to sweep an entire team from the opponent. Is it going to be enough for that? We will find out shortly. We're going to see the rapidash coming back in here, and we're going to go for the no shield here against the opponent's body slam, as we will be able to go for a scorching sense as well, but not before the opponent can go for another charge move. It's going to be another body slam, but this time around we're going to use shield, and we can go for the back-to-back kind of scorching sense there. We need one more fast move to get to the next one. Gonna get the shield here, gonna get the attack drop as well, which would have been nice a bit earlier on, but it is what it is, and this is gonna be able to knock out that rapidash and now down to that Victini, and we just have to reach a charge move in time, which we can, and scorching sense is going to be enough to knock out the Victini, and we can win this battle. Good game there. Next opponent, we're going to have a horrible lead with Bronzong. We're going to swap out straight away into our Malamar, trying to kind of counter it. As I swap out into the Claydol, which is a very interesting swap here, because we have definitely some good play against the opponent's Claydol. So yeah, we're going to have super effective coverage here on our Pokemon with the foul play, which is also stab. So I'm not too worried, but we will find out on how this is going to go. We're going to be able to go for another foul play here. This is going to be still a stab move as well, which is going to be great. And so we're going to see that it's going to be a two-shot against the opponent. As you can reach out for another charge move, this is going to be enough to get the shield from the opponent as well. Can we still reach another move in time? We cannot. I'm going to let the move go through here, and now it's down. And now it is down to our Claydol and the Gardevoir to win this battle. Gardevoir going to get the farm down. We know, of course, about that one Pokemon there in the back. And it's down to Claydol now, trying to win the battle against especially the Bronzong. We use a shield. Hopefully they use their hard-hitting move. It's going to be the Play Rough, which is their hard-hitting move, so they're kind of energy dry at this point. We can overfarm by quite a bit, and this should guarantee us to get off that Scorching Sands against the last opponent Pokemon, where it's super effective against it as well. So this is looking really, really good. This is going to be enough to get them quite low. Not enough to knock them out yet, but they are still going to try to retaliate here, which doesn't really bother me, to be fair. They're going to go for the Heavy Slam, knock us not even out here, and we can just knock them out. Bruxish in the lead. Again, a Pokemon that is kind of a bit of an annoyance here, but we're usually going to be fine just playing it out. We maybe actually, like, honestly, like, Summon of a Steel type makes a lot of sense in the current meta. A lot of Fairy type Pokemon floating around here, but we're gonna see the shield coming up. We're gonna get the attack drop against the opponent again, which is great. It doesn't really matter. Like, to be fair, like, it literally doesn't really matter because you're just gonna go down after one more fast move. But let's take a look at the next opponent's Pokemon here. It's going to be the Bruxish, which is something that we are going to be able to hit hard and get the shield against. As we're gonna see now, let's swap out into the Malamar. This is going to be an interesting matchup for sure, as we will see the crunch coming through. We're gonna have a full farm down, and we will see the foul play coming through against the opponent. This is going to be, this is kind of enough definitely to two-shot the opponent here. It's gonna be kind of fine fast. We're gonna let the move go through very likely, as you can fully charm them down with a Gardevoir. Wild Shot is coming through, or actually we can even go into our Claydol, let the move go through as well, and just rely on the Gardevoir, which I feel like is the best play here, as double Wild Shot is not gonna really do too much against me, as I can now go for the full farm down and win the battle. Next opponent coming through, let's see what they're going to have. Horrible lead for us, so we are going to be forced to swap out straight into our Malamar. We have two good answers against the Victini, as Malamar, generally speaking, unless you're going to encounter Gardevoir, has a lot of plays say up here. Like, this Pokemon is very, very good there. We have another charge coming through here. It's going to be the foul play, getting a ton of damage onto them, as we can now see the superpower coming through, being the cheaper move. Would not do any damage at all, but we are going to be able to force a shield here, as someone definitely panicked there, not counting the moves correctly. But we're gonna see the voice slam coming through as well. We're gonna try our best to fully farm down that Rapidash, but let's find out if this is actually going to work for us. as we gotta get them now low here, but let's see what they're going to still have in the back. It is always a bit of a toughie. It's going to be the Victini, which is not ideal for us at all. And we will see the shield coming up straight away. And we try our best here, but they're going to have in the back their own malamar, which is a bit tricky to deal with. Luckily, they took their good time because actually Charm is very good against this Pokemon. But I'm not too sure if it's actually even going to go down to that. But we will very likely find out very shortly. But you're gonna be able to still go ahead and go for Scorching Sands here. This is going to be enough to get the Final Shield from the opponent. We try to catch the move. It does not work out at all. And so now it's down to that Gardevoir, and sadly we're gonna lose the battle. The next opponent, we're going to have Shadow Gardevoir against a Shadow Gardevoir. That is going to be quite a consistent matchup, I would say. But let's take a look on how that's going to go. The opponent swaps out into the bruxish to counter our own Gardevoir, which is a smart move, but at the end of the day, it's just going to lock him into a matchup. Really doesn't really want to be in there because the fast move is neutral. As we have the dark typing, we can just knock them out. We're going to see here the Claydol coming in as they can try to go for a foul play. We might even be able to reach another one in time. This might be kind of it here. This might be actually the way of winning this battle. But I decided to swap out now into my own Claydol, and we're just going to use our shields. We don't really want to risk anything. It's going to be an Ice Beam actually, which would have done a ton of damage against us, and so that it was a great shield coming up. As we will see the opponent going for their own Claydol, I think it is again. It is, and we can try our best to maybe even fully farm the down, I would have said, but like they're actually gonna stay in here for a bit. We can still go for another charge move, knock them out, and that's going to be a good game. Next opponent, we're going to have another one of them here. Honestly, Claydol is, I would imagine, going to climb up even further in the rankings because this Pokemon is just very good. Like, honestly, this Pokemon is quite decent for this one for sure. We're going to try our best as the opponent is gonna get sniped down basically by our Malamar. And in comes now the Rapidash, but at least the Malamar here is going to be enough to get some neutral damage in with a foul play. We're gonna try to reach another one, but it's going to be enough here. We're gonna see if we can still take a hit. It's going to be the Boy Sim anyway, so we should be fine. But we lose the MP tie as Rapidash is one of the Pokemon that has quite a high attack stat. We're gonna use a shield just to get them a bit lower, because if we get them lower, we can go for the full fauna with either of our Pokemon. What you're gonna do here right now is Claydol is going to go up against the opponent's Malamar, which is not ideal, but also not the worst, as they can now go for another charge move. And also, we still have, okay, we don't really have the best HP stat left on our own Gardevoir, but it is what it is. We might still be able to do work with it. We can try our best to fully farm down the opponent here, as they are going to be at 1 HP in a dream. We can go back into our Gardevoir, go for the full farm down, and in comes the Rapidash, which we are going to be able to knock out. Galarian Slowbro, again a very strong Pokemon, especially against our lead. We are forcing to basically swap out here into our foul player user in the Malamar. Malamar is going to be totally fine here, as we are going to be able to take the hit. Brutal Swing, not going to do too much because it's just neutral. And in comes the Claydol from the opponent. Again, we're going to have super effective damage against the opponent here with that foul play. We can reach up to another one as well, which is going to force maybe the second shield from the opponent. But it actually doesn't. They're gonna let the move go through, and sadly, I don't reach another superpower. Superpower would have been definitely a lot of fun here to try to force another shield. But we can still try our best with our Gardevoir. I should have most likely not used the shield there either, because I had to hope that they don't go for a Shadow Ball, but rather go ahead and go for the Scorching Sands, what they did here. And so I'm kind of missing one shield at this point. And I have to say, if I had that extra shield, I definitely would have been fine. Definitely would have been able to win the battle. But it is what it is. Who knows? Like, who knows really if that really would have happened there either. Like, maybe some other stuff would have changed. But anyway, we're gonna see the opponent gonna try to go for an energy ball. We should be able to outspeed them now anyway. And so this is going to be enough here to knock that Pokemon out, and we can move on to the last battle soon, as Slowbro sadly is going to be a bit too hard for us to deal with. This Pokemon is just a bit too strong here in the position it's currently in. Not generally speaking, we had some wins against it as well, but right now it is just very, very strong the way it was playing here. And that's going to be it for this one. Let's move on to the final battle of today. We're going to have a Malamar in the lead. That's going to be basically perfect, as you're going to have super effective charm against it, and they swap out into the Claydol, which is also totally fine for me. As we are going to swap out into our own Malamar, we have some super effective coverage against the opponent with a foul play here, which is going to be very good for us. Let's see how this is gonna go. Foul play is going to connect now. How much damage it's going to do against the opponent is not going to knock them out, but it's getting quite close to it. And so what we're gonna do here is we're going to use no shield against the opponent's Claydol here, and they're gonna see the superpower is going to be able to get the shield from the opponent. So superpower actually came in clutch there a bit. We're gonna go for the full farmland, and comes again the slowbro, where we would have liked to have a bit of, I don't know, like waiting time there. This was definitely, yeah, maybe could have definitely won the battle if I just wait out some clocks a bit more, which I didn't. And so yeah, kind of getting punished for being nice there, I guess. As you're gonna see, the malamar coming back in now. They have super effective coverage, so we have to be a bit mindful of that. Foul play is coming through as well, and we can see if we can go for a double scorching sands maybe, and then try to swap out to catch a move. Let's find out here. We're gonna not be able to do that yet, but now also the opponent has perfect fast move timing, not allowing us to do really anything here, and this is going to be it. Sadly for this game. Hopefully you still enjoyed this one. This team was amazing. 35% win rate is quite nice, and yeah, hopefully you give it a try in the season. Bye bye.